Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite historical romance book this year. And the fact that I read this back in January, it still amazes me that I vividly remember their names, whereas the books that came after, some of them I don't even recall reading. If I didn't jot down my review and say I read it on Goodreads, I likely would have blocked it out from my mind. But this was not one of them. It was so good. And that is Yours Until Dawn by Teresa Medeiros. I will say that this is the historical romance reading pick or group read pick by Jess, Lacey, and Lisa. They host the Historical Romance Readathon. I will post the image here from their Instagrams, but you can check any one of their 3 pages to learn more about the live show and the discussion that will be coming up. I'm hoping I'll be present as well to participate, but essentially this is what encouraged me to talk about my opinions on it, because I am so glad that people are picking it up, and more so because of the Romance Readathon and being able to share it on their platform and witness it. It's going to be a very enjoyable group discussion. I already know it because this book is a shocking one. I will admit I do have 2 copies of this book for myself. This one is already tabbed. I am keeping this for myself, whereas this one I am reselling on my Pango Books, which is linked down below. Feel free to check it out. It might still be available by the time I post this. But yes, it does include the gorgeous step back. And essentially, this follows Samantha and Gabriel. Gabriel was injured in battle and lost his sight. So, in doing so, he grew more frustrated with life and didn't really see his reason for living anymore, which, of course, that shows sign of, depression and PTSD from the battle that he faced. He also was deserted by his fiance, and his family wasn't as supportive either of his change. There are some really unfortunate things that his family even says towards the end of this book, but I digress. This is altogether a beautiful story because by the time Samantha is coming to his home and going through the interview process, he immediately senses her, and of course, because he is blind, other senses are considered heightened, including his sense of smell. So he can smell someone different in the air, and of course, that is Samantha. She does eventually get hired as his nurse and takes care of him. So there's caregiving trope in here. Of course, historical romance in here. I will also say it does present the fantasy elements of Beauty and the Beast situation. I would also argue The Boy Who Cried Wolf and Princess and the Pauper situation. I will not explain further about those. You'll have to read for you to understand what I'm even alluding to. But this was just a really compelling story, and I'm really excited to hear other people talk about it and hopefully contribute as well, depending on what's going on around that time for the live show. I'm hoping I'll be present to participate, but if not, I can always rewatch like YouTube will allow. So, yes, this is just a really compelling story. I have to express so much that this shook me with the surprise factor. You don't see it coming, and then when you finally get there, you're like, oh, now I see where all the signs were. Now I understand why so and so is doing what. And it's just, you just shouldn't read any reviews about this that could potentially hold spoilers. And I am really trying to hold back from talking about that because you just. And the thing is, I found my first copy. I ended up getting 2 because I had to buy a book lot for this author after reading this book. That's how good it was. Okay. And that's how good it is going to be for people that are going to read it as well. And I just, but anyways, I came across this book unexpectedly at my local thrift store, and it was just sitting there looking pretty. It had a gorgeous intact step back, and this is the one I found. The other one, which I'm saving, was found in a book lot. So I'm going to keep this one and just resell this one. You may notice from my January wrap up that it did originally have the sticker on, which I managed to remove. But yes, I am reselling this edition in my Pango books, and that is linked down below in the description box. So if you are interested in that, feel free to hop on there. And those are my thoughts for Yours Until Dawn by Teresa Medieros. If you are participating in that readathon, feel free to let me know in the link down below. If you have your own thoughts and opinions about it, also feel free to share. But again, try to be nice about it because I just don't think I could handle hate on this book because that's how attached I got to this story and the characters. It was so compelling that I had no choice but to talk about it some more before the readathon. So hopefully, I'm encouraging you to read it before that takes place. If not, and you're seeing this after, that is, of course, fine, but feel free to comment down below your thoughts, your opinions, and maybe even some recommendations for people who love this. And I would advise not to include tropes because I feel like those can be spoilers, hence why I didn't include all of the ones that apply here. If you've read it, you already know. But with that being said, my name's Alexis, and until next time, take care and happy reading.